Good morning, guys. Sorry for not posting yesterday. Yesterday, I was having some network issues. I've called the Wi-Fi guy and he hasn't come here. So I hope today I don't get that issue. So let's start. Today, the date is April 26 and let's get started. So 18 to 14 age group may get jabs only through private facilities. I don't understand what jab is here. Jab, is it like something free? Okay. So by that they means that only private facilities are going to, have a lot of fun with us. So yeah, I think that this means that it'll be free through government channels. The center has set citizens in the age group 18 to 44 years will have to register to Co-win portal for vaccination. They will be eligible to receive vaccines only at private facilities on payment, except in cases where the state decides to lower the minimum cutoff for eligibility for free vaccination to less than 45 years. Okay. I think Uttar Pradesh was giving it for free. All vaccination slots at private CVC will continue to be offered only for online appointment from Covin or Alokisitu. On-site registration. Okay. COVID-19 stocks Odisha's remote neighborhood rise in cases put stress on health infra. Okay, I think the cases are increasing there day by day, so that's why maybe. Also, there were some weddings at the south in Kerala, I presume. Kerala, Tamil Nadu, sorry. Used to send raw material for Covishield. As military, the US will immediately deploy supplies and other assistance to India. The White House said following a Sunday call between National Security Advisor of the two countries, Ajit Doval and Jake Sullivan. Okay. So yeah, earlier they said that they cannot, and right now they're working with our country to solve that. So it's got CM calls all party meet to discuss Sterlite Mosel select copper similar plan to reopen to protect the Democrats will participate in the meeting. So government, High Court urged on this thing. They should open it. And central government proposed this idea, I guess. Tamil Nadu reports, 16,000 first cases. Kamal Islam Center NEP. PMK's fund, PMK's fund PM cares to fund 515 oxygen plants in hospitals. Okay, that is good. Okay, so they are saying oxygen plants in every district. Let's see, stop oxygen diversion. TNC emerges. PM Tamil Nadu Chief Minister has retired. Prime Minister Narendra Modi seeking immediate cancellation of the diversion of 80 kilo of liquid nitrogen from oxygen from Separum Mother to Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. He reasoned that Tamil Nadu should have an liquid stock as its active cases are increasing. I mean, yeah, that's obvious. Tamil Nadu reports 16 other new cases. I think I forgot to select Delhi here, but sorry. I think we can all ignore that for today. Cancel oxygen diversion. Yeah, we already heard that. Alert issues on revival of the Tablighi Jamaat activities. Okay, these were the one who last year, increased the cases in Delhi through that masjid thing. Oxygen production needs to be augmented. 20 metric tons of capacity is available in industry, but they lack license to make medical oxygen. Okay, Tamil Nadu, not Tamil Nadu. About 20 metric tons of capacity is available in industry, but they don't have the license to produce oxygen. Medical oxygen, the government should act quickly and issue the license. Yeah, this can be done because if they don't have oxygen, then it's a easy way to give them e-pass or something. Our refineries are aiding hospitals. More than oxygen, refineries require high purity nitrogen to maintain inert atmosphere and certain processes to prevent air ingress into hydrocarbon containing vessels and for purging purposes. Nitrogen mostly produced in cryogenic air separation units. Some refineries have the facility to produce oxygen of the purity. I mean almost 100% in these cryogenic air separation units. Some of the refineries have VPSA oxygen units that produce oxygen 95%. Why do refineries use oxygen? Okay, so I think the idea would be supply oxygen to hospital because it does not have the facility to bottle or store it and does not respond to oxygen from the unit pressure is also present from outside. Okay, so they can eat if they start producing and give the containers to store it. People stay indoors during Sunday lockdown working the supply milk and this business like this get involved across Tamil Nadu. So this is about Tamil Nadu where the cases are very much increasing. Capacity at Stellite. I want to read that part. Tamil Nadu oxygen manufacturing capacity 400 tons per day. Okay, it's a lot. The steel into Madras High Court that consumption stood at 250 tons a day. On Sunday, the chief minister said consumption had touched 300 tons and the votes only 450. So that's why that plant should open. Government vaccine unit yet to come on stream. The Government of India owned integrated vaccine complex HLL Biotech Limited at Chengalpattu is yet to start commercially production after it was established in March 12 with a capital investment of 494 crore according to the report. Question under the Right to Information Act. Corruption. More vaccination hubs from today. Police told to allow passengers. Okay. Greater Chennai Corporation. Okay, this is for Chennai. More city residents stay in the only a few people ventured out road. Most of them were more mass, and that is good thing. I think people are getting that dare in them. A small tide for passengers, despite lot of police told to allow passengers to check posts in city after they show ticket. Okay, this is for Chennai. Okay, let's move ahead. Okay, we are at 4. Teacher wants to work from home, then allow. He was chairman of CSK. That's when the student they feel it wanted to work on campus. And actually, yeah, even I have a brother and who has like a sarkari job of a teacher, and he has to go. But there are other duties as well as a teacher, like election may part lena and all that. So let's see. I don't think we need to hear all that. SC sets up committee to provide insurance cover to asset hazard lawyers, and that is good. Every bar council in every state should do that. It's very important. Can proceed with reassessment of. Okay, we don't have to go with that. Kerala, Karnataka, and some more cases. Huh? 16 enemies to surface of conventional test positive. Education plus. Let's see. Navigating the uncertainty with board exam either cancelled or indefinitely postponed. What does this mean for students? Okay. Class 10 is something to worry about. No, I don't think for class 10 there is something to worry about. That is my last one of your school and saw the fund. Some schools had anticipated the plan. They are responsible a comprehensive assessment framework that carried to the needs of a range of learners. Okay, where's the personal touch with online education? I don't know. I feel like they don't give out editorials only. Let's move ahead. Okay, here it is. Endeavor, leadership, and the story of a nation. The ultimate accolade. Okay, what is accolade? For India's role in creating Bangladesh is that today it is a relatively prosperous country. Bangladesh and India both celebrated the golden jubilee of Bangladesh independence recently alongside the birth of centenary of Banga Bandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. There was a veritable outburst of warm sentiments witnessed in Bangladesh at this occasion, but celebrations in India were on extremely low key. The creation of Bangladesh from the ashes of East Pakistan is presently India's finest origin, currently from till date and defies imagination why India has been so reticent in acknowledging. Okay, reticent in acknowledging this fact. A plausible reason put forward in certain quarters is that if possibly meant to acknowledge the role of former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi is this in this seminal event, as she is widely acknowledged to be the real architect of this term, not resigning claim put forward by many as swashbuckling general others in uniform. This may sound like it's a great repeat, but anyone who had an opportunity to witness this in the Gandhi still resolved during that period, as for instance, when it was communicated to her during a meeting of the war cabinet that the US 7th Fleet, which includes the nuclear-powered aircraft carrier Enterprise, was teaming up to pay a Wenger will hardly dispute this fact, displaying no signs of diffidence. Okay. Diffidence, it's a nice word. He made clear that it made little difference to cause that they are embarked upon nations, so the word can possibly boast of an achievement of this nature. Yeah, at that time India didn't have this much of power, and yeah, look at what they did. A great deal was written about the military exploits in the nation of the former Bangladesh of the Indian Army, the Indian Navy, and the Indian Air Force. Very little has, however, been mentioned about the role of intelligence agencies, and justly so, since the intelligence agencies do not publicize their exploits and operate behind an iron content 50 years after this, we time to keep up part of the back of the insurance agencies at that time, the Intelligence Bureau and the Research Raw. I mean, Avasar was created by the IB well before the organization was verified in 1968 into the this latter assets. So I mean, धीरे धीरे they went in and you know found the key points, and that's how they attacked and won, not with manpower but with brain power, you can say. And of course, spies were involved. So, the road ahead India's augmented vaccination drive. It is possibly presently battling an aggressive second wave of the COVID-19 pandemic. India launched its vaccination drive in mid-January, starting with the vaccination of priority groups. The central government has announced a slew of policies measures to expand the eligibility packet of vaccines and to deploy more vaccines for domestic use. This policy intervention, coupled with the availability of vaccines in the open market, are expected to further intensify India's anti-COVID-19 battle. Interventions into action. The important relaxation of the COVID-19 vaccine in the recent guidelines issued by India's Drug Regulatory Authority for restricted use in emergency situation vaccine, which are already approved for restricted use by US. Blah 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 blah. Time of minutes. The issues of resolution is removed for deciding of the for vaccination has two advantages. The first being the expansion of vaccination net. Second being the freedom of the individual to exercise options for selecting the vaccine of her choice. The younger lot of economically active population group and students attending college university can get themselves vaccinated from May 1. Okay, so this is good. Vaccination pricing. Yeah, that's the problem. Either state government is interfering and saying we'll give it for free, or they are not at all. So yeah, that one can be used as a smart investment instruments that saves lives without killing livelihoods. It is meaningless to calculate the reduction in the spread of the virus attributable to lockdowns in Delhi. The test positivity rate has reported come down from 37% at the start of the lockdown to 30% in a week because of the lockdown. And Mr. Kejriwal even mentioned that in his meeting before announcing that there will be a lockdown again for a week. The challenge is in managing the pandemic with the least required and avoidable disruption in economic activity. The lesson from the first lockdown that put the burden almost entirely on the poor is that a better design for this is essential at the heart of managing any disaster. Lockdowns themselves cannot erase the pandemic, but they would give the government the breathing space to prepare. Ramping up of the health system must be taken up above of road. So basic idea is to break the change and ramp up the healthcare system. Again, partnership. The US-India Climate Pact has the potential to aid sustainable post-pandemic development. Many developed countries tend to view India's reluctance to commit to a net zero emission target as a recalcitrance. Recal. Okay, I mean these words are like really interesting. But the climate change crisis originated not here but in the industrial world, which has used up much of the world's carbon space. A forward-looking policy should therefore envision green development and providing funding and green technologies as compensation for the emission space lost by the poorer countries. Okay, Trump here announcing enhanced emission cuts in emission by 50 to 52% by 2030 over 2005 laws, but much of his climate efforts will rely on executive authority rather than bipartisan support. Bipartisan support means that collaboration, like India and US have one. With political will on both sides, and India can become a model. Yeah, it will be very interesting to see how these leaders do and handle this crisis. This target, sorry, a case for judicial federalism, the need for a uniform judicial order across India is unwarned in COVID-19 related cases. Transfer of cases onto builders. This one got to sumoto cognizance of the issue in the redistribution of supplies and service during pandemic. Said, I'm a face of we are inclined to take the view that the distribution of these essential services and supplies must be done in an even-handed manner, and that's why I think the medicines were taken under central control. I mean, under the hospital's control. And Supreme Court, the judges said with the benches of two or more, the purpose of this process is to encourage deliberation on the bench to have a higher level of deliberative justice. This necessarily presupposes dissent. Dissent. Let me note down that word. A characteristic feature of the apex court in the recent is general lack of dissent in the issues that have serious political ramifications. This defects occurs not only in the in addition to geographical reasons, not that's not in the rule. Regional federalism has intrinsic and instrumental values. Judicial federalism. Let me just Google it. I think we'll have some good idea about what this is. First, there's a separation between federal courts and state courts. Typically, federal courts have exclusive jurisdiction in matters of federal law, while state courts have exclusive jurisdiction in the matters of state law. So, this by this they mean that having a distinguished advantage there, removing that failing to prepare to is preparing to fail. This is have to not only provide credible information but also enjoy the trust of population. Undermine democracy. Last week, I flagged off the conundrums before journalists the difference between what they perceive as legitimate and the possession of second section of readers. A really powerful section uses similarly benign language to silence the spirit of inquiry and notions of accountability. Okay, he's just talking about. While political scientists expect the judiciary to be the lions under the throne, they expect a much more modest role from responsible news media to be a watch of the international educational, scientific, and cultural organization declared May 3 as the World Press Freedom Day when they without declaration promoting blah 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 blah. So they are basically saying that press should be much more towards providing credible information rather than just saying Modi ji. When Israel wants in Syria, what Israel wants, it is meant to contain Iran's growing influence in the region. Changing tactics when the Syrian crisis unfolded in 2011, Israel took a wait and watch approach family because it preferred a stable regime in Damascus to the post-Iranian chaos. Okay, three goals. Israel had three key goals: disrupt Iranian supplies of the Hezbollah and other Shia militaries, stop the militaries advancing towards the de facto border, and by continuously targeting them, weaken Iran's presence in Syria. In the last seasons, Israel has carried out dozens of aerial attacks in Syria. In retaliation, Syria has offered anti-aircraft missiles and fire drones. Syria shot down an Israeli warplane last week and anti-aircraft surface-to-air missile purportedly fired by Syrian army landed near Israeli secretary nuclear facility in Dimina. In response, they carried out a round of bombing in Syria. So already the conflict has spilled the Syria from into Mediterranean Sea waters where both sides target each other's ships, with Israel determined to contain Iran's growing influence in the region at a time when the US and the Western powers are reaching out to Iran to revive the 2015 nuclear deal, which could leave it more powerful economically, and the Israel-Iran conflict is set to intensify further. So they are here to play, not to go. Let's see, condition of closing the commission. The Indo-Pakistan diplomatic relations are getting so badly messed up in the wake of the West Bengal tragedy that it is becoming almost impossible to agree even on an elementary issue like repartition of the staff custody of the premises of the two deputy high commissioners in Calcutta and Dhaka, which are closing down tomorrow. The Western governments are working itself up to in such a masochistic mode that is not prepared to respect even its basic obligations under the Vienna Convention governing diplomatic relations. But Pakistan is no mood to just charge its international obligation. This is pretending is only determined to retaliate to the point of treating the person of Indian Deputy High Commissioner in the kind of as hostages. Okay. Vaccine does in the pipeline. What is this? Let's say. Vaccine does one production capacity. The after the manufacturing COVAX, EU, US, India is India. What is this? As of April 20, the confirmed purchase of over 8.9 billion doses worldwide, with another 6.3 billion doses currently under negotiation. India has confirmed about 5 million doses of purchase and can potentially buy another 905 million. It is 205 million doses confirmed on purchase of India. 100 million each will come from manufacturers Oxford, AstraZeneca, and Gamaleya Research Institute per inhabitant. India's proceeds 0.5 doses per inhabitant as of April 20, while Canada has 8.67 doses per citizen in general. High-income countries have procured enough doses to vaccinate their population many times over. Yeah, and that's the thing. India has a vast population, so yeah, that's what we can see now. Let's see how our government tackles this. PM cares to fund 515 oxygen वो तो समझ गया मैं. No until less under cyber scheme. Russia to fly an oxygen generators medicines for India, I guess. Okay, let's go with foreign. Actual COVID patient killed at fire enclosed at a hospital in Baghdad. What happened to Armenians in 1915? Germany mulls easing virus curbs for vaccinated people. Yemen rebels advance on Marev. 15 people in 40 days in cave. Lost sense of time. Okay, three killed as a unfilled tanker attacked off Syrian international submarine found broken into three. So, if you remember the last time we did, we talked about Indonesian submarine getting lost, and yeah, so it's gone. Be an early bird on to save taxes. I think this will be fun. And yeah, let's see. I don't know. Today my internet is acting kind of weird, so it's not loading. Even my paper was like not loading today. Yeah, okay. Okay. Denial of claim is not the end of the road. Preserving documents. Documentation is the most important thing. Ensure with its buying a policy before we discuss the documentation. Okay, now this can be a hard copy. You can also complain if you do get a response. Every insurer has to have a policy holder service parameters approved by its board of directors. Okay, the complaints to the grievance officer can be about dissatisfaction with the insurance distribution channel intermediaries, insurance intermediaries, blah 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 blah. It's not the, so you can escalate your complaint to okay. So basically, they are saying that it doesn't stop if they declare your claim. You have a lot in your hand and other ways to get the settlements. I would like to know the pros and cons of investment options such as capital guarantee, inheritance plans, certainty, or new pay. I'm planning to invest in stock market where the key criteria to keep in mind while opening, trading, and demat account. See, some broking structures work well for traders, not so much for long-term investors. Short-term investors may have to check and compare the margin facility available. Yeah, because there's a lot of hidden charges. You can go with Zarota or Upstocks. That'll be good. Yeah, and see, if you are coming for investments, then you better have some knowledge and a plan thing, because it's like really important right now. Otherwise, you'll just end up losing money. Maybe